my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. All glories to Guru Maharaj. Hare Krishna, Sridevi Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much for your time and help today. Today we are so lucky and fortunate to have Sridevi Mataji again to help us to highlight on Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 2, Chapter 7 and verse 23. Okay, I will share my screen.
Thank you, Sukhavaha. Please accept my most humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. All glories to Guru Maharaj. I offer my humble obeisances to all the assembled Vaishnavas and Vaishnavis. Vancha kalpa tarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya evacha patitanam pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Krishna declares that the Vaishnavas are more dear to him than himself. So how lucky I am to be in your association and to be able to do some small service for which I humbly request your blessings, your mercy, your prayers, your good wishes, so that I can fulfill Guru Maharaj's desires as well as please you and please Guru Maharaj. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna,
Thank you for the opportunity to serve you.
Thank you for your association, because we get more mercy with you, from you, and Guru Maharaj. So yeah, Guru Maharaj's mercy comes through you. So thank you so much for that. And you can take over whenever you're ready.
Thank you all, dear devotees, for assembling for this morning class. It's morning here, but it's afternoon for you in UK and evening for Dheeraj and others in India. But I'm very happy that we're all uniting together like this to serve Guru Maharaj, to please Guru Maharaj. Thank you so much. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jaya Mudirayet Nashtaprayeshva Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtaki Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Chandramauli Swami Niti Namini Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namini Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharini Nirvisesha Shunyavadi Pashyatya Deshatarini Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So we are on Canto 2, as Sukavaha Devi said, Chapter 7, Scheduled Incarnations and their specific functions, and we are on verse number 23, which is about Lord Ramachandra. Yesterday we heard about Lord Parshuram. Before that, other incarnations. Today we are going to hear about the ideal king, Lord Ramachandra. So here we go. Asmat prasada sumukha kalaya kalesha Ikshvakuvamsha avatirya gurornideshe Tishtan vanam sadaitānuja avivesha Yasmin virudhya dasha kandhara artim archat. So, translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Due to his... Well, Sukava, would you like to read?
Okay, I can do it, no problem. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Due to his causeless mercy upon all living entities within the universe, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, along with his plenary extensions, appeared in the family of Maharaja Ikshvaku as the lord of his internal potency. Sita, under the order of his father, Maharaja Dashratha, he entered the forest and lived there for considerable years with his wife and younger brother, Ravana, who was very materially powerful, with 10 heads on his shoulder, committed a great offense against him and was thus ultimately vanquished. But by His Divine Grace, Srila Prabhupada,
Let's
Mataji, do you want
ask
to
one
read?
of the other devotees to do one paragraph each, so everyone gets a chance. Is that good?
Okay. Yeah, that's fine. I just want to check if is the writing okay, or do you want me to increase the fonts?
Perfect. No problem.
Okay. Anyone else, please? Can you
Shilpesh
read?
Prabhu, go for it.
I can.
Lord Ram is the supreme personality of Godhead, and his brothers, namely Bharata, Lakshmana, and Satrughna, are his plenary expansions. All four brothers are Vishnu Tattva and were never ordinary human beings. There are many unscrupulous and ignorant commentators on Ramayana who present the younger brothers of Lord Ramachandra as ordinary living entities. But here, in the Srimad Bhagavatam, the most authentic scripture on the science of Godhead, it is clearly stated that his brothers were his plenary expansions. Originally, Lord Ramachandra is an incarnation of Vasudev, Lakshmana is the incarnation of Sankarshan, Bharata is the incarnation of Padumna, and Satraguna is the incarnation of Aniruddha. Expansions of the personality of Godhead. Lakshmi Ji, Sita, is the internal potency of the Lord and is neither an ordinary woman nor the external potency incarnation of Durga. Durga is the external potency of the Lord, and she is associated with Lord Shiva.
Thank you, Shilpesh Prabhu. The next person can read the next two paragraphs, please.
Hare Krishna.
Go for it.
Go on, Amratanam Mataji, please.
Uh, as stated, Hare Krishna, can you put it a little down?
Down? Okay, fine. Is it better?
As stated in Bhagavad Gita 4.7, the Lord appears when there are discrepancies in the discharge of factual religion. Lord Ramachandra also appeared under the same circumstances, accompanied by his brothers, who are expansion of the Lord's internal potency, and by Lakshmi Ji, Sita Devi.
Go
Should I
ahead
read
and
ahead?
read the second one also. Third
Yeah,
one.
one more.
Okay. Lord Ramachandra was ordered by his father, Maharaj Dashratha, to leave home for the forest under awkward circumstances, and the Lord, as the ideal son of his father, carried out the orders. Even on the occasion of his being declared the king of Ayodhya, one of his younger brother, Lakshmanji, desired to go with him, and so also his eternal wife, Sitaji, desired to go with him. The Lord agreed to both of them, and all together they entered the Dandakaranya forest to live there for 14 years. During their stay in the forest, there was some quarrels between Ramachandra and Ravana, and the later kidnapped Lord Ramachandra's wife Sita. The quarrel ended in the vanquishing of the greatly powerful Ravana along with all his kingdom and family.
Thank you. Dheeraj Prabhu, read the rest for us, please.
Sita Ji, Lakshmi Ji, or the goddess of fortune, but she is never been enjoyed by any living being. She is meant for being worshipped by living being along with her husband Sri Ramachandra. A materialistic man like Ravana does not understand this great truth, but on the contrary, he wants to snatch Sita Devi from custody of Rama and thus incurs great misery. The materialistic who are after opulence and material prosperity may take lesson from the Ramayana that the policy of exploiting the nature of Lord without acknowledging the supremacy of the Supreme Lord is the policy of Ravana. Ravana was very advanced materially, so much so that he returned his kingdom, Lanka, into pure gold or full material wealth. But because he did not recognize the supremacy of Lord Ramachandra and defy him by stealing his wife Sita, Ravana was killed. and his opulence and power were destroyed. The Ramchandra is full incarnation with six opulence in full, and he is therefore mentioned in this verse as Kaleshas, Kaleshas, or master of all opulence.
Thank you. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Utapada Kamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजना सहितं कृष्ण चैतन्य देवं श्री राधा कृष्ण पादान् सह गणा ललिता श्री विशाखान्वितं च हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधु जगतपते गोपेश गोपिका कांता राधा कांता नमोस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैता गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्त वृंदा हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे. So Lord Ramachandra, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, appeared almost 2 million years ago in Treta Yuga on this planet. And till today, we worship Lord Ram, we speak of his glories, he's extolled and eulogized as the most perfect human being, ideal king, ideal son, ideal ruler, ideal husband, ideal in all ways. This was actually Lord Ram's goal, to come here and to re-establish the principles of religion and to annihilate the miscreant, the great demon Ravana. Ravana had acquired tremendous material opulence, so much so, as it is mentioned, he turned his whole city to gold. There was so much material opulence in Lanka. He had so many beautiful wives. He has so much wealth. Personally, he was very handsome. He was very, very intelligent. Actually, Ravan has written a book on astrology called Ravan Samhita. Of course, no one, at least I don't know of anyone who reads that, but he was very learned. Why? Because his father was a sage, Vishrava, but his mother was a Rakshashi. So he acquired all the demoniac propensities of the Rakshas race. And he was actually a man-eating Rakshasa. He could change his form at will. He had tremendous mystic powers. He had tremendous opulences. And he worshipped Lord Shiva. Just as Hiranyakashipu worshipped Lord Brahma, he worshipped Lord Shiva, and Shiva, being so pleased with his austerities, granted him so many boons so that he became extremely powerful. You know, he was invincible. Nobody could defeat him. And he started harassing all the three worlds. At that time, the demigods went and prayed to the Supreme Lord. The Supreme Lord assured them, don't worry, I myself will come with my plenary expansions and I will annihilate this demon. What Ravan had asked for was a boon to not be defeated in war against all kinds of creatures. But he thought humans are so insignificant, they're so puny, they're so weak. They're like insects. I'm not even going to ask protection against the humans because I can just crush them with my hand and finish them. So he didn't even ask for immunity from death again at the hands of a human being. So that is why Lord Ram took on that role of a human being, but he was not a human being. He was the Supreme Personality of Godhead himself. Dashrath was the king of Ayodhya and he was childless. He had 350 wives, but no progeny. You can imagine how anxious he was as he was aging and there was no heir to succeed him in the throne, succeed him as king. He wanted to enthrone a son, a worthy son, who would be able to guide the citizens nicely on the path back home, back to Godhead. Rule wisely, rule with saintly rule, so that there would be peace and prosperity. The kings of old were thinking like this because the children, the citizens were like their own children. The king and the queen considered the citizens to be their own children, and they felt great responsibility towards them. This is righteous rule. This is dharmic rule. This is saintly rule. What we have today is a travesty. It's an abomination where the leaders are becoming like Ravanas. Not becoming, they're almost like Ravanas. Only thing they're little demons. They don't have so much power like Ravan, nor do they have any material opulence, nor any capacity, nor any knowledge, nor anything except animal propensities. It's a very sorry state of affairs today in Kali Yuga. But even today, Ram Rajya can come back with this Hare Krishna movement, and we'll talk about that. So Dashrath was in great anxiety, and he consulted his learned sages, ministers, and they advised him to perform a particular ceremony for which a very special sage, Rishashringa, was invited to perform that ceremony. And out of that sacrificial fire, a great personality came with a golden pot of payasam, sweet rice, which he divided among all his wives. So from Kaushalya was born Lord Ram himself, the Supreme Lord, and his plenary expansions, Bharat, Lakshman, and Shatrughna. So these were actually none other than the Supreme Lord and his plenary expansions. As we see, who was Sankarshan? He came as Lakshman. And in further incarnations, he is Balaram, Krishna and Balaram. And then in this Kali Yuga, they come as Lord Chaitanya and Lord Nityananda. So the Lord never comes alone. He's always accompanied by his entourage, by his associates, by his paraphernalia. Bharat is the incarnation of Pradyumna, and Shatrughna is the incarnation of Anirudh, and all of them were faithful and loyal to Lord Ram. So after the wives got pregnant, there was great joy when Lord Ram was born, because he was the epitome of a perfectly beautiful child who never cried, who never gave trouble to anyone. He grew up in an exemplary way, and he was so beloved of all the citizens of Ayodhya. The citizens loved Lord Ram as their own son, and Lord Ram in turn loved the citizens. And so Dashrath was very happy to enthrone his son as the king of Ayodhya and retire to the forest. In the olden days, the kings gave up all their material opulences and left for the forest in order to perform the last purification and renunciation, so that they could go back home, back to Godhead. Not like the leaders of today, they're clinging to their seats till the last minute, and only death can snatch, all the things from them. Until then, they don't get it. That, hey, you're going to give up everything. Why don't you give it up voluntarily and go back to Krishna? No, that they cannot do. They want to hang on till the last minute as though they can live forever. But this was not the policy of the kings of old, because they knew the purpose of life. What is the purpose of life? To reawaken our pure love for Krishna fully and completely and make a success of life. Think of Krishna, go back to Krishna. Ante Narayana Smritihi. What is the meaning of that? Last conscious thought must be of Krishna. How will that happen unless we practice Krishna consciousness throughout our life? Not possible. So therefore, the kings of old, even with all their material responsibilities, discharged their duties honorably. They went through all the 4 phases of life, and in the last phase, Vanaprastha and Sannyas. Like this, in order to perfect the human form of life. So Dashrath was all, ready to enthrone Lord Ram, when suddenly things changed. Manthara, the evil housemaid of Queen Kaikeyi, decided to poison her mind because she didn't want to lose her position as the favorite queen's favorite maid. Her designs were all in order to keep her own power. So she planted seeds of doubt, seeds of, jealousy, seeds of strife within Kaikeyi's mind, which took fruit, and Kaikeyi made an absolutely horrific demand of Dashrath. On the eve of his coronation, she demanded the two boons that were granted to her because there was a very severe battle with the demigods, with the Asuras, in which Dashrath had gone to help the demigods, and he was severely wounded. But Kaikeyi very expertly nursed him back to health, and Dashrath, out of gratitude, said, I grant you two boons. But Kaikeyi said, I will take them when I need them. I don't need anything from you now. So Manthara reminded her of those two boons, and she said, you do one thing. You demand that Ram goes into the forest for 14 years. And Bharat should be enthroned as the new king. So at first, Kaikeyi said, okay, I will ask for Bharat to be enthroned, but why Lord Ram should go to the forest? So Manthara explained further her evil plan, saying, well, if he is not gone to the forest, then there's a chance that if he is hanging around, he'll fight with Bharat and again usurp the throne. Not that Lord Ram had any intention of doing that, but this was her evil plan to banish Ram to the forest for 14 years. Because for 14 years, when someone is gone, people might even forget them. Anything might happen in the forest. Lord Ram might die, devoured by tigers or lions or something. And so there would be no trace of him. And 14 years later, who will remember him? And Bharat would flourish. He would be the king, and she would be with the queen's maid, and her position would be solid. That's what she thought. So Dashrath was devastated. Huh? We had that beautiful play in the retreat. I'm sure many of you will get to see it on YouTube now. But oh my gosh, we all felt so moved by that play, where Ram was Kanchanabja, and John was Dashrath, and Kaikeyi was his good wife Anahita. It was really amazing to see how they brought that play to life. And so Dashrath was totally devastated, and he just collapsed in a faint, just hearing this impossible demands of Kaikeyi. He said, I cannot do this, I cannot do this. He fainted again and again after coming back to consciousness. But Kaikeyi, Lord Ram came to see the king, hearing that something was amiss, and Dashrath couldn't even bring himself to say the words. He was so devastated. But Kaikeyi declared her intentions, and Lord Ram said, my dear father, if it is your desire, I am immediately willing, and I will get ready and go into the forest. This is an example of the opulence of renunciation. When it is said that the Lord is full in all six opulences, it doesn't mean he has only beauty, only strength, only wisdom, only fame, only wealth, etc. He also shows the perfection of renunciation. He has the opulence of renouncing everything because he is not attached. Krishna is not attached to anything material. Krishna can only be captured by the love of his devotees, pure love, that too. So, Lord Ram got ready to go to the forest. The moment it was understood that he is going to the forest, Sita said, I'm going with you. Lord Ram said, the forest is full of rakshasas. It's full of fierce and wild animals. It's a very difficult place to be. You're brought up like a delicate princess. Your lotus feet have never even touched anything softer than velvet. How will you live in the forest with me? It's not possible. No, you should stay. But she declared, for me, this Ayodhya will be like a forest without you. And with you, the forest will become Ayodhya. This is the faithfulness and the loyalty of the perfect wife that Sita is a symbol of, an example for all of us. Lakshman said, I'm going with you, my lord. I cannot stay without you. I'm going with you. He was also married. He was married to Urmila. But he also declared that he is going with the Lord because he said, I cannot live without you, my lord. So Ram agreed for that also. All three set off for the forest. Bharat was not there. Bharat had gone to his grandfather, Kekaya, the king, who is Kaikeyi's father, and he came only after some time. As he was coming back to the kingdom, he saw everyone, in a state of mourning. There was no festoons, there was no festivity. The whole place was gloomy, dark with despair. Nobody was out on the streets to welcome him. He's thinking, what is going on? As he returned to the palace, he started asking, and Kaikeyi called him, "My dear son, I have good news for you. You are now the new king. I have banished Ram to the forest. I have secured your position." Bharat was shocked. What? What have you done, you wicked woman? I denounce you immediately. I don't want to have anything to do with you. But he was so angry, he was ready to kill his mother, practically. He was so angry. But remembering in the Shastra that women are never to be punished, he somehow restrained himself. And then he also discovered that his father was dead. King Dashrath could not live without Ram and had given up his life. Bharat was in so much despair, but he performed the last rites and he said, I'm going to go into the forest and bring Ram back. I'm not going to allow this thing to go on. So he hastily went into the forest searching for Lord Ram, and Lakshman from a distance saw a great, group of soldiers and Bharat heading their way. And Lakshman immediately suspected he has come to finish off Ram with his soldiers. So he races down the mountain and tells Ram, let's get ready for battle. Bharat is coming, and I suspect that he's come to finish us off. And Ram says, relax, my dear brother. Let us wait and see what he has come for, because of course Lord Ram knows everything. And Bharat comes, offers his full obeisances and says, my dear elder brother, I don't know what has happened to my mother. She's just, lost her senses. But please come back to the kingdom of Ayodhya. You are the rightful heir to the throne. I cannot even think of stepping on the throne without you. Ayodhya is, bereaved and in great grief. Please come back. Please come back. And Lord Ram says, I cannot break the word of my father. I have to keep the word of my father. This is known as honor. This is known as keeping your word no matter what. This is the honor of Kshatriyas. Their dharma is to keep their word. Death is preferred to dishonor. This is a true Kshatriya. So Lord Ram was playing the role of an ideal prince, and he said, Bharat, you please go back. You rule in my stead. Bharat was in tears. He said, I cannot even think of doing that, my Lord Ram. Please give me your wooden slippers. They will be placed on the throne. I will go and live in the forest on the edge of some river in a little cottage, just like you. I will live very simply on fruits, roots, berries. In fact, it is said that all he did was eat barley cooked in cow urine. He did not shave. He also wore matted locks. He also wore deer skin. He lived as though he was in the forest with Lord Ram. That was his loyalty and faithfulness. And he said, I am simply ruling in place of Lord Ram. These are his wooden slippers on the throne. These are to be worshipped as though this is Lord Ram himself, because it is Tadiya, the paraphernalia of the Supreme Lord or the pure devotee of the Supreme Lord are as worshipable as the personalities themselves. So that is how Bharat ruled for 14 years. Now, what happens in the forest? Lord Ram meets with so many difficulties, so many wild animals, Rakshasas, coming to harass them. He defends Sita and he protects her to the best of his capacity. But Ravan, after hearing about the beauty of Sita Devi from Shurpanaka, who had come looking in the forest to see who are these beautiful beings, and she fell in love with Ram. She wanted to marry him. So she turned herself into a very beautiful damsel, and she says, I am a very beautiful lady. You're a very handsome man. I think we would make a good match. So putting all her feminine wiles and putting on a beautiful, dress with jewelry, she appeared like a beautiful Apsara, and she started propositioning Lord Ram. Lord Ram said, I'm very sorry, madam, I'm already married. Maybe you can consider Lakshman. And Lakshman said, but my dear madam, you're so beautiful, you're so graceful, you're so full of good qualities. Surely you don't want to settle for somebody's second place, do you? So she went back again to Ram. So like this, they were playing with her back and forth, teasing her. And finally, she lost her patience. She says, "What is this? I'm going to, marry one of you." And then Lord Ram says, "I cannot. I have taken the vow of Ekapatni Vrata. Here is my wife, Sita Devi." Seeing the beautiful form of Sita Devi, she became so consumed with jealousy and anger. She just came to her real self, which is a Rakshashi, tried to pounce on Sita and finish her off. Immediately, Lord Ram signaled to Lakshman, "Take care of her." Lakshman took out his sword, lopped off her nose, lopped off her ears, and she went screaming back through the forest to Ravan, who was her brother. And she said, "Oh, my dear brother, see what has happened to me. I am in such distress. This is what these two human beings have done to me." Then Ravan says, "What is going on?" Then she starts describing the beauty of Sita. Immediately, all Ravan's lusty desires come to the surface, and he decides, "I must acquire this beautiful lady for my harem. I will not rest till I get this Sita Devi." So he decides to play a trick, because he has heard how Dushana and Kara and Kabanda and Maricha and all were, defeated or killed. Actually, the others were killed, but Maricha was thrown 800 miles into the ocean. And Maricha decided, "No more fighting with Ram. I'm a retired demon. I'm sitting in the forest and I'm not going to do a thing." But he goes to Marich and says, "Marich, you have to do me a favor." What is that? The moment he says the word Ram, Marich turns pale with fear and starts shivering. He says, "Oh, no, 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 no. You don't know what you're taking on. This is the Lord himself. He will finish you. He will finish me. He will finish the race of Rakshasa." Ravan says, "Why are you talking? I'm invincible. I'm Ravan. You just do what I say, otherwise I'll eat you." "I'll kill you and eat you." So Marich realizes it's no go. He has no choice. And then he thinks, better if I'm killed by Lord Ram than to be killed by this demon. So he agrees to become a golden deer. This deer is so graceful, so delicate, so beautiful, and shining with beautiful jewels all over his body. He comes prancing on his four slender legs, comes close to the cottage where Sita is, and starts chewing on the grass purposely to attract her attention. The moment she sees this beautiful deer, Sita is attracted. You know how all of us get attracted to beautiful things. She gets attracted. She says, "Oh, my dear Lord Ram, please, I want this deer. We will take him back to Ayodhya." It was almost nearing the end of their exile, practically the last year. "I will take this." And Lakshman takes one look and says, "This is a demon. No need to waste time over it." But she's insistent. "Oh, my dear Lord Ram, please, please, please." And Lord Ram is playing the role of a perfect husband who wants to please his wife. So he goes after that golden deer. Immediately, Marich, in the form of a deer, takes off, going deeper and deeper into the forest, luring Ram further and further away. Before he leaves, Lord Ram tells Lakshman, "You stay here, you guard Sita, don't leave her alone." And he takes off into the forest. Now he's coming close and he realizes this is a demon. Of course, Lord Ram knows all along he's a demon. He's just play acting the part of a human. So he takes out an arrow and finally shoots the deer. As he is dying, Marich starts wailing loudly, "Lakshman, Sita, help!" and gives up his body. Now, who hears this? Both Sita and Lakshman hear this. Immediately, Sita says, "Lakshman, go, help Ram. He's calling for help." Lakshman is calm as a cucumber in the early morning dew. Says, "Ram doesn't need any help. He can finish off any number of demons." "No, no, no. Go. He's asking for help. Please go." Lakshman says he doesn't need any help. Besides, he has asked me to stay here and guard you. I'm not going anywhere. Then Sita turns on, her feminine psyche into play and says, "Now I know why you're doing this. You actually want to enjoy me. You're doing all this purposely so that Ram is killed. And that is absolutely heartbreaking for Lakshman to hear, because he has never even raised his eyes from her feet. He has been so chaste and so loyal to Lord Ram that he never ever even looked up at the face or the figure of Sita. That is how it was in the olden days. Men wouldn't even look at a woman who was not their wife. It was very, very chaste and very pure life. But hearing all these things, he cannot bear it. He says, all right, I'm going because you're asking me to, but I'm going to draw this arrow with his arrowhead. He drew a line all around the cottage and says, do not step out of this line. So Sita agrees and he leaves. The moment he leaves, Ravan decides to come in the form of an old sage, saying, Bhikshan Dehi, give me alms, give me alms. I'm an old sage, I'm so tired, I'm so hungry, please, please. And he makes a big show that he's an old, hungry, tired sage, very weary from traveling in the forest. So Sita becomes very compassionate. This is the thing. With ladies, we become very compassionate and therefore we can easily get fooled. You know, there was a serial killer called Ted Bundy. He would play on the sympathies of women. He would walk with a crutch and he would lure people saying, please help me to my car. Please help me to my car. And the woman saying, oh, poor thing. He has a crutch. Let me help him. And the moment they reached his car, he would pull open the hood, throw her inside and race off. And that was the end of her. So one must be very, very careful in one's dealings with this world, knowing what is out there. So poor Sita becomes very compassionate and she says, please come. And she wants to call him to the cottage. And he says, no, 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 because he tries to cross that line and immediately there's fire. Agni Dev is there protecting her. So he realizes he cannot cross that line. So he manages to lure her out. The moment she steps over that Lakshman Rekha, he captures her. And he's all set to take off. He actually does take off with her in his Pushpa Vamana. And who stops him? Jatayu. An old vulture sees what is happening. He's a great devotee of Lord Ram. And this is a very beautiful pastime, within the story of Lord Ram. Jatayu is actually a very old vulture, but he puts up a stiff fight and tries to prevent Ravan from taking away Mother Sita. In his righteous indignation at what is happening, he doesn't stop to see whether he's a match for Ravan or not. He just decides to fight Ravan. But of course, in the end, Ravan tricks him into revealing where's the source of his strength, which he says honestly is his wings. So immediately Ravan takes his sword, lops off his wings, and poor Jatayu falls to the ground, bleeding and dying. But knowing that Ram and Lakshman will come looking for Sita, he keeps saying, Ram, 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 holding on to his life heirs so that he can tell them what happened to Sita. Sure enough, after some time, Ram and Lakshman return to the cottage. Everything is in disarray. They see signs of a struggle. They see no sign of Sita. Lord Ram is beside himself. He is just rushing through all rooms of the cottage, all the surrounding trees, asking, where's Sita? Where's my Sita? Then it's obvious she has been kidnapped. So they start going after, trying to find the trail. But of course, the Pushpa Viman has gone up in the sky. So they keep asking the birds, the trees, everyone, where's Sita? Where's Sita? And they hear this faint sound, Ram, Ram, Ram. They come upon Jatayu, and then Jatayu tells them, oh, what has happened to Sita? Immediately Lord Ram bends down, takes Jatayu in his arms, and Jatayu gives up his life. Lord Ram then personally performs the funeral rites for Jatayu, saying, you are a friend of my father and therefore equal to my father, so I will perform your rites as your son. So Jatayu actually is victorious. You might say, oh, Jatayu lost, but actually he didn't. He lost his life, but he gained the eternal kingdom of Ayodhya. So he's actually victorious and a great hero in this pastime. So now, knowing what has happened to Sita, that Ravan has kidnapped her and they have gone south, Lord Ram wanders further in the forest with Lakshman, thinking how he can get back Sita. He comes across Hanuman, and you know the rest of the story. Sugriva decides to help him. They finally cross over the ocean, go across to Lanka. There's a stiff fight. Ravan is defeated by that special arrow given to him by Agastya Muni, and he loses his life. The Lord wins back Sita, and they can come back to the kingdom of Ayodhya. So this whole Ramayana is full of examples of how trials and tribulations will come in life, but by taking shelter of dharma, the right way to live, we can overcome all the obstacles and we can become victorious. Paritranaya sadhunam vinashaya cha duskritam dharma samsthapanarthaya sambhavami yuge yuge. And then Lord Ram ruled very beautifully. In his kingdom, there was no want of any kind. I want to read out to you some pastimes, some verses of the Srimad Bhagavatam, where it is described what Ram Rajya is, the ideal kingdom. So let's go to Bhagavatam 9th canto, chapter 10, the very last few verses, say 53, 54, like that. Let's go there and you will see. Let's start. Okay, let me look it up myself. 50.
Is it the 9th canto you said, Mataji?
Yeah, 9th canto, chapter 10. Let's go to
10.
verse number 52. Yeah, 52, 53, 54. I think that ends the chapter.
Yeah.
Yeah, there we go. 52. O Maharaj Parikshit, best of the Bharat dynasty, during the reign of Lord Ramchandra, the forests, the rivers, hills and mountains, states, 7 islands and 7 seas were all favorable in supplying the necessities of life for all living beings. Why? Because Lord Ramchandra was the ideal ruler. And we'll see what kind of rule that was. Let's go to the next verse. When Lord Ramchandra, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, was the king of this world, all bodily and mental suffering, disease, old age, bereavement, lamentation, distress, fear, and fatigue were completely absent. There was even no death for those who did not want it. Purport. All these facilities existed because of Lord Ramachandra's presence as the king of the entire world. A similar situation could be introduced immediately, even in this age called Kali, the worst of all ages. It is said, Kali Kale Nama Rupa Krishna Avatar. Krishna descends in this Kali Yuga in the form of his holy name, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. If we chant offenselessly, Ram and Krishna are still present in this age. The kingdom of Ram was immensely popular and beneficial, and the spreading of this Hare Krishna movement can immediately introduce a similar situation even in this Kali Yuga. You see how beautiful this is? So, the point I'm trying to make is this ideal rule happens. Yeah, we can stop there, Sukavaha. Can come about when one follows the dharmic principles of leading people on the right path back home, back to Godhead. In Bhagavad Gita, 9th verse, I think 1 and 2, Krishna again says, Evam parampara praptam imam rajarshayo vidu. In that purport, Srila Prabhupada explains it is actually the duty of kings, rulers, statesmen, leaders to lead the people back home, back to Godhead. This is actually the duty of governments. What is the government doing? You can guess what they're doing. So if we want Ram Rajya, if we want the golden age to come back again, which is Lord Chaitanya's desire, what do we have to do? Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. And the more we take to this chanting, the more we perfect our chanting, The more we become pure, we will be able to make a difference in this world. We are supposed to. This is what Srila Prabhupada's desire. You become Krishna conscious and help others become Krishna conscious. Make your life successful, help others become successful. So thank you very much for listening so patiently. We can open up for comments, questions, realizations, corrections.
Thank you so much. Ramayana is such a great literature. Anytime you listen, it's just so much relishing of nectar. Thank you for narrating that. That's amazing. Dear devotees, please, if you can start your video, that'll be so nice. I'm sure Sridevi Mataji would love to see all of you. And if any questions, please raise your hand and I can, or else put it in the chat and I can read it for you. Okay, so while everyone is thinking, I always, whenever I listen to this Ramayana, I have that question in my mind that how come Sita Devi got attracted to the golden deer? Because she is the actually incarnation of Lakshmi Devi.
Devi.
She herself is so much opulent. So is it the Maya? Is it the illusion which came up on her and she was affected by it? And please, if you can explain.
So, just as Lord Ram was playing the role of an ordinary human being, Sita Devi was playing the role of an ordinary human being too. So, just as women are attracted by gold, by jewelry, by pretty things, by, saris and purses and shopping and whatnot, in this age, she got attracted to this golden deer just to carry out the Leela of that particular time, because that was the Leela that was to be performed. Ravan was to be annihilated. All these things had to happen. You think Lord Ram didn't know that Marich was a demon? Of course he knew. He knew, but he was playing the role of a human prince. Similarly, she was playing the role of a human queen. So she got attracted to the deer just for the sake of Leela. Sake of Leela. But actually, she was never captured by Ravan. Maya Devi cannot, Sita Devi cannot be touched by demons. So it is said that Agni Dev, when that Lakshman Rekha was drawn, Chaya Sita went to Ravan, and the real Sita was protected and kept with Agni Dev. Therefore, on Lord Ram's return, through the Agni Pariksha, the real Sita was handed back to Ram.
Okay. So till then, the real Sita Mata was there with Lord Ram. Only when she crossed the line, the illusion.
Chaya Sita went. Yes.
Chaya Sita went there.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna. Amritanam Mataji. Please go ahead.
Hare Krishna, my humble obeisances to all, my humble obeisances to Mataji, all glories to Srila Prabhupada, all glories to Gurudev.
My humble obeisances to you, Amritanam. All glories to Srila Prabhupada, all glories to Gurudev.
Sorry, my front camera is not working. I'm trying to do it, but sorry, my front camera is not working.
That's okay.
You have touched such a wonderful topic. I didn't wanted you to finish it off so soon. Ramayana is indeed, you just want to keep listening, and the characters of Ram. I don't have a question though, but I just wanted to say that whenever I'm listening to Ramayana, it's all of a different world I go in, and there are so many characters in Ramayana which are portraying such deep lessons, such deep characterization. We have to learn so much from each and every character of Ramayana. So one of which is Hanuman, which I think you could not cover so wonderful. I mean, because of shortage of time, but yeah, Hanuman had a lot of wonderful qualities, and especially he's in the mood of dasyam, and that's where we have to learn that that is our sole identity. So first we have to get to that. We are even we are not even in coming to that. So yes, and the character of Bharat Maharaj, he didn't do anything and he had to pay such a big price. And I think he did more greater tapasya in entire Ramayana. And so such wonderful characters. So yeah, I just wanted to say that thank you for narrating, wonderful pastimes of Ramayana. I think we should have the second part of this also, if time permits sometime. But yeah, thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Amritanam. You have pointed out very beautifully the role of Hanuman, because what is Ramayana without Hanumanji? They
Oh
are together.
yes,
So
yes,
Hanuman is the perfect servant, Dasyam. He's the epitome of Dasya Ras. And his exploits, his achievements, his valorous deeds, his bravery, his intelligence, his
intelligent. Yes.
enterprise, all these are exemplary. And again, so many lessons we can learn from how Hanuman served Lord Ram. Very nice point. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Nice
Hare
observation.
Hare Krishna. Thank you. I think you can do another Ramayana if you include Hanumanji's role in Ramayana.
Mataji, one observation. I mean, what I loved personally, one incident. It's not an incident, just an observation. But Hanuman was serving Sugriva, and before he started, before he came to Lord Ram, he knew. I mean, in the Ramayana Leela, when he met Ram, before that he was serving Sugriva, and Hanuman was very intelligent, very intelligent. And in comparison, Sugriva was not as intelligent as Hanuman. His IQ was little, you can say, on the lower side of Hanuman, but still, he was serving him. So the wonderfulness is, even if you see in this world, if you have a better intelligence and you have to serve somebody whose intelligence is lower than you, it is not easy. You would go into such either pride would conquer you, either something or the some anatas will be there with you. But he was so humble and such an in-depth character that he was serving somebody whose intelligence was not equal to him. So this really catches me
Hmm.
in character. So yeah,
Yes. Yes. Very nice. Very nice. No, Hanumanji is not an incarnation of Lord Shiva. He is actually described as coming from the semen of Lord Shiva. When Lord Shiva and Lord Parvati decided to, in one particular pastime, they take on the role of monkey, and therefore Anjaneya. That is one way, what to say, delineation of how Hanuman takes birth. There are two, three different versions of that. I recall another one where an Apsara called what's her name now? Anjani. Yeah, she is cursed to become a monkey, and she comes down to the earthly planet, and she gets impregnated by the king of monkeys. What's the
Kesari, Kesari.
Keshari?
Yes.
Keshari, yeah. And that's how Anjani, so he's called Anjaneya. Especially in South India, they don't say Hanuman, they say Anjaneya. So that is one version. So there is, I think, one more, but I cannot recall it. So he is not an incarnation of Shiva, to answer your question, Dheeraj Prabhu.
Yeah, thank you, Mataji.
Okay. Any other questions or comments or
Hare
sharing their
Krishna, Hare
ideas?
Krishna,
Oh,
Mother
Hare
Sridevi.
Krishna.
Please
Hare
accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada, all glories to Gurudev, all glories to you, Mother Sridevi.
Please accept
Mataji,
mine, Bread Prabhu. All glories to Prabhupada, all glories to Guru Maharaj. So nice to see you again after the retreat.
always good to see you all. Mataji, I had two questions, kind of. My first question, when we see Mother Sita, and she's going to Lakshmanji, and she just doesn't want to listen to him. She just wants to go and find Lord Ram. As devotees, not to draw any sort of comparison, but where where do we in devotional life, as you said, Lakshmanji never even thought to look up from the feet of Mother Sita. So where can we as devotees, where is there a need for us to set aside at times our faith and association and, just run headfirst towards the Lord?
I didn't quite get that question. Could you please
Yeah,
tell me
so
again?
Yeah, so like how we were saying how Lakshmanji was trying to tell Mother Sita to stay, and she just couldn't believe him anymore, and regardless of how kind Lakshmanji was to Mother Sita, she made this assumption, you're looking to stop
Mm,
me, you're looking to enjoy me, let me escape from you.
mm,
So us as devotees, devotees might have our best interests sometimes. Um, but where, is it appropriate for us as devotees to go against association's best interest and say, Krishna in my heart is just telling me I need to go do this, so I can't listen to anything. You're trying to stop me. I need to go. Is that appropriate? Or should we as devotees always make that conscious effort to
No,
like
no, no,
stop?
no, no. We cannot afford to make such huge mistakes as to say Krishna is directly talking to me, is
Yeah.
telling me in my heart, go jump off a cliff. I'll get wings. No, 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 no. We are always guided by Guru, Sadhu, Shastra. Hmm? All three must line up. It's not like, we just do something, independently and whimsically. That is niyamagraha, which is one of the unfavorable things. There are six favorable and six unfavorable, one of which is acting independently and whimsically, thinking, Krishna is talking in my ear and he's telling me to do this. Krishna came in a dream and told me to do that and all this. This is all, we are getting just trapped by Maya. We must always, always be guided by Gurudev,
Mm, mm,
always be guided by the sadhus. They have our best interests at heart, and we must always strive for the mode of goodness. The mode of passion, the mode of ignorance will tell us all this stuff, go and
mm,
do this, go and do that, and all. We must guard against these, the monkey mind. Chanchalam hi mana Krishna pramati balavad dridam tasyaham nigraham manyeta vayor iva sudushkaram. Huh? To control the mind, I think, oh Krishna, is more difficult than controlling the wind because it is restless, obstinate, turbulent, and very strong. Hmm? That's what Arjuna says, isn't it? In the sixth chapter,
mm. Yeah.
I think verse 24, Arjuna says, oh my goodness, controlling this monkey mind, so difficult, so difficult. And Krishna agrees. In the next verse, he says, yes. But abhyasam tu kaunteya, by practice, by suitable practice and detachment, you can control the mind and make it your best friend rather than your worst enemy. Okay. Name of Apsara was Punji Kasthala, who was born in Anjana. Okay, thank you. Thank you for telling us the name of that Apsara. So you see, even from the heavenly planets, Apsaras came down to this material world. Urvashi, she was another Apsara. Menaka was sent by Indra. So there was travel, interplanetary travel, even that time. Thank you. Is that helpful, Brett Prabhu?
Absolutely, absolutely. Thank you, Mataji. No, as you were explaining and elaborating on the pastime, I always think of the when we hear Lord Ram's brother Bharat Maharaj, I always think of the juxtaposition between the other Bharat Maharaj that was exiled to the forest, and then later came back as Jada Bharat. And as you were speaking, it made
He
me
wasn't
think,
exiled exactly. He himself renounced his
oh,
kingdom and
yes,
took to
yeah.
the forest. Yeah.
Yeah, but it had me think, Mataji, like you were saying, the quality of association in our devotional life. Lord Ram had such an entourage with him, whereas, Bharat Maharaj that, later came back as Dada, he was out in the forest, became enamored by the deer. And I remember hearing in a lecture Ranna Swami gave one time where, he was saying, well, what if he wasn't alone? What if he had some sort of
Good
association?
association. This is why good association is essential for our spiritual life. It's crucial for us to have good association. That is why these retreats become so important, because that's where we can connect with God family. Actually, meeting God family is like a mirror. For me, it was such an unsettling experience. Manashiksha and being with the God family, it was like coming face to face with all my anarthas, it's like, oh my gosh, there's so much work I have to do, Krishna, help, help, help. So it is very important for us to always strive for getting good association. Coming together, serving Guru and Krishna, associating with one another, helping one another, being mirrors for one another. This is what is, see, we cannot see our anarthas on our own. It's not possible. But when we come in the association of devotees and we see, wow, look how they're serving, look how perfect the etiquette is. We realize our mistakes, we realize where we are falling short, we realize how many anarthas we have. It's a huge eye opener. That's why some of us, we don't like to associate. We shun association because we know we're going to come face to face. So we try to hide. We try to isolate ourselves. We try to say, okay, I'm sitting in my corner, I'm chatting my rounds, I'm reading, but association, no, 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 I don't want to, no, 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 no. Why? Because actually deep down, this includes me also, deep down we are afraid. We are afraid to come face to face with our anarthas. All those dark corners in our heart that need the light of Krishna consciousness. We have to get, the door open and let the sunlight go in there to purify. We don't want to do that. We don't want to hug our attachments and our anarthas and live in our little cubby hole. But what good is that? What good is that? It's going to take us to another birth. Do you really want to come? Sit in a womb for 9 months? Come out crying? And pass urine and stool in diapers? And have to go to school and get tortured by bullies and all the things that... No! We don't want... And the Kali Yuga is advancing so rapidly. We don't want to do all this again and again and again. Guru Maharaj says, only a madman will want to come back. These are his exact words. He just said it in few classes back. Only a madman. So do we want to continue to be mad men and mad women? I think not. Therefore, anartha nivritti is very important to purify ourselves, to rid ourselves of all these unwanted things. Lust, anger, greed, illusion, pride, envy. These are burdens on our heart and soul. We don't need all this stuff. It's like climbing uphill with a backpack full of boulders. Very difficult. We need to shed all this as quickly as possible so that we can keep going. Bhajan Kriya, Anartha Nivriti, Nishta, Ruchi, Asakti, Bhav, Prem. Long way to go. Krishna is not a cheap thing, isn't it?
Is it okay, Brett Prabhu?
Oh, thank you, Mataji. I mean, like he's like like the ninth canto just said, if we can get together and chant the holy name and be inspired and be humble enough to say, okay, there's devotees I can learn from. It's like you yourself said a little bit ago, we're all trying to develop some sort of light. We're trying to pass on, what Prabhupada was giving and give it to others. And I had a devotee tell me a while back, if we're afraid of our anatas, like you said, get closer to association because the light that other devotees have to offer, will shine right through the cracks of anartha that you have, and it will show you where those cracks are. So thank you,
Right.
Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Nice question, Brett Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Krishna Amritanam Mataji, do you have another question?
Yeah, thank you, Mataji. Is it okay if I ask a question from Bhagavad Gita?
Is it related to today's topic?
It is related to qualities of Krishna, not today's topic.
Okay, let's see if we can correlate it. Go ahead.
Okay. So in chapter 10th of Bhagavad Gita, I think it is between verse 10.4 to 10.6, where Krishna is talking about, his origin of all his qualities. Where he says that intelligence, knowledge, freedom from doubt, forgiveness, truthfulness. He's talking about many qualities, and then he talks about happiness, distress, birth, death, fearlessness also there. So I was just wondering, how can here, I mean, is he talking about dualities here? How can Krishna project dualities being transcendental?
How can Krishna?
So project dualities, he's transcendental, right? So I wasn't able to understand this.
He is transcendental, but we are not. We have taken birth in this material world, and we have acquired different qualities through the modes of material nature, and these are also created by Krishna. Who gives us intelligence? Who gives us knowledge? Who gives us forgiveness, truthfulness, control of senses? I'm looking at this verse. 10:4-5. Happiness, distress, birth, death, fear, fearlessness, non-violence, equanimity, satisfaction, austerity, charity, fame, and infamy. All these various qualities of living beings are created by me alone. So according to our karma, we will have some measure of infamy also. We will have some measure of fame also. We will have some measure of fearlessness. We will have some measure of fear. All these qualities which we have acquired are actually extraneous to the spirit soul. This is the nature of the soul, is to be transcendental like Krishna, but we are covered over by the subtle body first and then the gross body, and we are filled with all these things because these are still qualities of this material world according to passion, sometimes in the mode of passion, sometimes in the mode of ignorance, sometimes in the mode of goodness. So they see the very first line. The different qualities of living entities, be they good or bad, are all created by Krishna, and they are described here. And then it goes on to tell all about the different qualities over here.
So this is about his created qualities, not originating from him, because I was just wondering, death is here mentioned, distress is mentioned, fear is mentioned. So
No, they're qualities of the living beings. Just as Krishna's energy is not him, the energies of Krishna. Similar, these qualities are not of Krishna, they're created by Krishna because we living entities have decided to come over here. And so our subtle body has all these different qualities. That's all.
Okay. Thank you.
See, over here it is said, in modern education, there's no knowledge about spirit. They are simply taking care of the material elements and bodily needs. Therefore, academic knowledge is not complete. They don't know about the subtle body. They don't know that the mind is a repository of so much attachments, aversions, hates, likes, dislikes, prejudices, pet peeves, pet likes. The mind is a repository of all these things. Subtle body, mind, intelligence, false ego. We are carrying that with us life after life after life. Remember, we change bodies, but the mind is still the same mind that has accompanied us life after life. Therefore, we need to spiritualize the mind also, and false ego and intelligence. Subtle body also needs to be purified. The body The subtle body carries the soul into the next life. So if we seriously don't want another body, we must also get rid of the subtle body and acquire the spiritual mind, senses, intelligence.
Correct. Okay, thank you, Mataji. I think I got it.
Welcome.
Okay. Thank you.
So, in connection to that answer, Sridevi Mataji, when we get rid of our subtle body, is it automatically the spiritual intelligence and spiritual mind takes over? Like, is because it's a nature of the soul, isn't it? So the soul takes over. Is it? Is it something what I understand is true,
In,
or is it?
yeah, as I was answering Amrita Nam, I was trying to remember that Srimad Bhagavatam verse where, when the coconut is dry, how that whole kernel separates from the shell.
Hmm.
Huh? So like that, there's this description that that subtle body, one will actually shed that also. And the spirit soul, which also has spiritual intelligence, spiritual mind, spiritual senses, spiritual everything, that is who we really are. That will manifest because it will be rid of all these coverings. I can't for the life of me remember which verse it is, but I will do some research and send it to you. So we want to get our spiritual self back, which is there deep down inside. It is just covered over. So what we are doing is we are uncovering Cheto Darpana Marjanam Bhava Maha Davagni Nirvapanam Shreya Kairava Chandrika Vitranam Vidya Vadu Jivanam. We're trying to cut through all the layers of ignorance and passion and whatnot, and at least come to pure goodness. I mean, first mode of goodness, and then Shuddha Shatva, pure goodness. Our devotional service doesn't really begin until we come to mode of goodness. Now we are very blessed because we have our spiritual master who's spiritualizing our impure service and offering it to Krishna. Krishna doesn't accept anything impure. He doesn't have to. Only pure devotional service. We are not there yet. We have mixed devotional service, mixed motives. We don't have pure motives. So therefore, the spiritual master accepts our service while all the time guiding us to purify ourselves and offers it to Krishna. That is how we can serve Krishna. We cannot serve Krishna directly.
Yeah,
Not
that's
possible.
true. Very true. That I remember Guru Maharaj's class on that one. He explained very nicely that we can't even offer anything to Krishna as a bhogas. Like, when we offer bhogas to Krishna, we have to go through the spiritual master and Srila Prabhupada. Then only Krishna accepts it. So, yeah, thanks for reminding. Thank you. It makes sense now.
So Bread Prabhu has sent something. I think he has spotted that verse. Srimad
Yeah,
Bhagavatam
4.12.18. Yeah, I will try and bring that up. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Mm. 4.12.
There we go.
12.18, isn't it? Yeah, okay.
Yes. The example is given that when a coconut becomes completely dry, the coconut pulp within the coconut shell separates from the bondage of the shell and the outer covering. By moving the dry coconut, one can hear that the pulp within is no longer attached to the shell or to the covering. Similarly, when one is fully absorbed in devotional service, he is completely disconnected from the two material coverings, the subtle and gross bodies. Dhruva Maharaj actually attained this stage of life by constantly discharging devotional service. Mahabhagavad. Very nice. Thank you. Thank you, Brett Prabhu. I'm so thankful that you found the verse.
Yeah.
Lord Chaitanya exhibited these symptoms. Thakur Haridas also exhibited them. And there are many pure devotees who manifested such bodily symptoms. They are not to be imitated, but when one is actually advanced, these symptoms are exhibited. At that time, it is to be understood that a devotee is materially free. Don't worry, it will take some time. See, it says here, it simply takes some time for the shell and pulp to separate from one another. So let's keep going on the path of devotional service, and one day we will be free. Hari Bol.
Yes.
Thank you. Very nice.
Thank you, Brett Prabhu, and thank you, Amritala Mataji. Okay, Sakshi Mataji. Yes. Go ahead, please.
Hare Krishna, please accept my humble obeisances to all the devotees. All glories to Srila Prabhupada and all glories to Guru Maharaj. All glories to the assembled devotees. Mataji, thank
Please
you.
accept mine. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. All glories to Guru Maharaj.
Thank you so much, Mataji, for today's very amazing and wonderful class and also the discussion. My question is, like sometimes we, in order to perform our duties, we forget how to love. And Ramayan tells us how to do our duty honestly, and Bhagavatam tells us how to love. So my question is how to find, like, what is the way to find a nice balance between these two?
Simply continuing on the path of devotional service with sincerity, with seriousness, carefully following the instructions of the spiritual master will help us to uncover what is already there within our heart, pure love of Krishna. Krishna Prema Sadhu. What is that? Sadhu Kabhu Noy. Then what? Chitete Korea Uday. What is that? I forget that. Let me look it up for you. Just give me one. Krishna. Chitete Korea. Narotam Das is, oh, this is Sadhu Shastra. Okay, 1 second. Vishnu Prema. I'm not getting it. There is a particular verse which says that pure love of Krishna exists in the heart of all living entities. It is not something external. Pure love. Let me try the English and see. Of Krishna exists in the heart of all living.
Mataji, is it Nitya Siddha Krishna Prema Sadhe Kabun?
There you go. You got it. You got it. You got it. Yes. Nitya Siddha. Yes. Nitya Siddha. You got it. Let's go to Chaitanya Charitamrit 22107 of Madhya Leela. There you go. Nitya Siddha Krishna Prema Sadhya Kabhu Noy Shravanadi Shuddha Chitte Koriye Uday. Pure love for Krishna is eternally established in the hearts of the living entities. It is not something to be gained from another source. When the heart is purified by hearing and chanting, this love naturally awakens. It's natural to love Krishna. It is the nature of the soul to love Krishna. So what we are doing is simply peeling back the layers of dirt that has covered our heart for millions and millions of lifetimes. This Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare is purifying on all levels and will bring us to pure love of God. It will. We just have to keep going. Does that answer your question, Sakshi?
Thank you. Thank you so much, Mataji.
Thank you. Very nice question.
Thank you, Mataji. We've gone 26 minutes over. Is there any more questions? Otherwise, I can end the call.
Is it possible to chant a little bit?
Yeah.
If you make me host, I guess.
Yeah, please. That'll be nice. I can make you host and
Okay.
you can chant. Give me 1 second, yeah? Let me just.
Yeah, just for a little.